Hi everyone, welcome to Eco Learning Classes. This is Professor Geeta Mahesh. Dear students, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ 80 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ 80 ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು, ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮೆಟಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದರೆ 80 on 80 ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಸೊ ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಎ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್, ಫಿಲ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್, ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ದಿ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇ ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, 6 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಹೀಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್. The scarce resource of an economy have competing usage. Which of the following is an example of microeconomic study? Microeconomic study, so consumer behavior. Which of the following is macroeconomic variable? Macroeconomic, so that is aggregate demand. Central problems of an economy: what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, so all of the above. Traditionally, the subject matter of economics has been studied under the following broad branches. So broad branches, and in your syllabus you know very well, we discuss micro and macroeconomics. So this is the right answer. Utility is a subjective concept. The shape of indifference curve is normally convex to the origin. Consumption bundles that are available to consumer depends on the price and income of the consumer. Equation of budget line is always P1 x1 plus P2 x2 equals to M. Demand for these goods increases as income increases, that is normal goods. A vertical demand curve is vertical demand curve. This is demand curve. So perfectly inelastic. Ordinal utility analysis expressed in ranks. Formula of production function is Q equals F of LK. Okay. In the short run, a firm cannot vary all inputs. Change in output per unit of change in input is called marginal product. Bob-Douglas production function is Q equals x1 alpha, x2 beta. TC equals TFC plus TVC. Product in a perfect computation or perfect computation. So it is homogeneous product. Increase in total revenue for a unit increase in output is called, see here, increase in total revenue due to increase in the sale of output, that is marginal revenue. Firm's profit is denoted by pi. When the supply curve is vertical, the elasticity of supply, so when it is vertical, inelastic, so here elasticity of supply is equal to 0. Revenue per unit of output, revenue per unit, that is average revenue. In perfect competition, buyers and sellers are price takers. Perfect competition, see here, buyers and sellers are price takers. A situation where plans of all consumers and firms in the market matches equilibrium situation. As a result of increase in the number of firms, there is an increase in supply. Then the supply curve shifts towards right side. See here, as number of firms increases, supply also increases. When supply increases, definitely supply curve shift towards the right side. Firms earn supernormal profit as long as price is greater than the minimum of average cost. Government imposing upper limit on the prices of goods and services is called upper limit, so it is price ceiling. Government imposed lower limit on the prices of goods and services, lower limit. So that is price floor. Individuals or institutions which make economic decisions are called economic agents. In 1936, the British economist J.M. Keynes published a celebrated book, that is General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money. All the laborers who are ready to work will find employment and all the factories will be working at their full capacity. This school of thought is known as classical thought. The year of Great Depression is 1929. In a capitalist country, production activities are mainly carried out by private enterprises. The study of national income is related to macroeconomics. NNP equals GNP minus. So we have to convert gross into, here we have to convert gross into net. So that is depreciation. The value of GDP at current prevailing prices. So that we call it as nominal GDP. By deducting undistributed profit from national income, we get personal income. Measuring sum total of all factor payments, factor income, will be called as income method. The main function of money is medium of exchange. Bank which act as a monetary authority of India is RBI. Bank which are the part of money creating system of economy are commercial banks. The rate at which RBI lends money to commercial bank against securities, we call it as repo. The important tool by which RBI influence money supply is open market operation. Consumption which depends on income is induced consumption. The value of MPC always lies between 0 and 1. The point where extant aggregate demand is equal to extant aggregate supply will be a equilibrium position. Easy availability of credit encourages investment. In a situation of excess demand, demand is more than the level of output. Taxes on individual and firms, we call it as direct tax. Duties levied on goods produced within the country, we call it as excise duties. Tax which act as an automatic stabilizer, proportional income tax. Which of the following is an example of paper tax, that is wealth tax? When demand exceeds available output under the condition of high level of employment, this may rise to inflation. Consumers and producers choose between domestic and foreign goods. This market linkage is called as output market linkage. Here goods, so it is output market. Exchange rate is determined by market forces of demand and supply is called flexible exchange rate. Market forces, flexible exchange rate. The balance of payment records transaction between residents and with the rest of the world. So it includes goods, services, assets and all of the above. The rate at which the price of one currency in terms of foreign currency is called foreign exchange rate. In this standard, all currencies were defined in terms of gold standard. Dear students, let us discuss an interesting and important concept, that is match the following. As we know, all students like to answer this question. Now let us start. Market economy, we know in the market economy, all economic decisions are taken by private entrepreneurs. Service of a teacher, it is a skill. Centrally planned economy, where economic decisions are taken by government. Positive economics deals with the functioning of mechanism. Normative economics evaluate the mechanism. Here you can see demand curve. We know it slopes downwards, so downward sloping. Linear demand equation, D equals A minus BP. Linear equation, A minus BP is the right answer. Unitary elasticity of demand, we know it is equal to 1. Elasticity of demand is equal to 1. Complementary goods, where we use both together to satisfy a particular want. Pen and ink, we call it as an example for complementary goods. And we know indifference map is a family of indifference curve, where you can see set of indifference curves. Now let us take up one more match the following. The first one is CRS. The expansion for CRS is constant returns to scale. SAC, expansion, short run average cost. LRAC, long run average cost. TFC plus TVC, it is equal to total cost, TC. Then SMC equals delta TC divided by delta Q. Yeah, one more question on match the following. MR equals delta TR divided by delta Q. Pi is denoted for profit. So profit equals TR minus TC. AR equals average revenue. Average revenue is nothing but a TR divided by Q. Normal profit, for zero profit condition, we call it as normal profit. Perfect computation, perfect information. Now let us discuss one more question and match the following. Adam Smith, as we know, price mechanism is known as operation of invisible hand by Adam Smith. Price ceiling, it is the upper limit imposed by government on particular goods, especially agricultural goods. Market equilibrium, where quantity demand is equal to quantity supply. Possibility of supernormal profit. When there is a supernormal profit under perfect competition, it attracts new firms into the market. Price floor, it is a lower limit on prices imposed by government for few essential goods. Now let us discuss this one. Labor, for labor we know reward will be wages. GDP, expansion, gross domestic product. Inventory, it is a stock variable. PDI, personal disposable income. Domestic service, it is non-monetary exchange as it is not included in GDP. It is the expansion for SLR. It is a statutory liquidity ratio. Circulation of coins by Government of India. Money, it is a main function of money is medium of exchange. M3, M4 is good example for broad money. Repurchase agreement we call repo. Savings, that part of income which is not spent, it's mean that Y minus C. Raw material, intermediate goods, consumption per unit of income, average propensity to consume. Aggregate demand for final goods, it is denoted by C bar plus I bar plus CY. Excess demand, when demand is more, we know it leads to rise in the price in the long run. STR, special drawing rights, we call it as paper gold. Balance of payment, it deals with trade in goods and services. Balance of trade deals with goods alone. Floating exchange rate, it is also known as flexible exchange rate. Managed floating is known as dirty floating exchange rate. Now let us discuss fill in the blanks. Here you can see, dear students, first one, scarcity of resources give rise to. As answers will be given, from that you have to select. Scarcity of resources give rise to problem of choice. In a centrally planned economy, all important decisions are made by government. Blank is a set of arrangements where economic agents can freely exchange their endowments production with each other, that is market economy. In reality, all economies are mixed economies. So here also you can see above you have answers, you have to choose. One, satisfying power of a commodity is utility. Two, indifference curves never intersect each other. As income increases, demand curve for normal goods shift towards right. Demand for a goods move in a dash direction of its price, that is opposite. Method of adding two individual demand curve, we call it as horizontal summation. In the long run, all inputs are variable. Blank defined as output per unit of variable input, that is average product. Marginal product and average product curves are inverse U shape. SMC curve cuts AVC curve at the minimum below the point of AVC curve from the beginning. Blank is set of all possible combination of two inputs that yield maximum level of output, that is isoquants. Price-taking behavior is the single most distinguished characteristic of perfect competitive market. Unit tax is a tax that the government imposes per unit sale of output. For a price taking firm, marginal revenue is equal to market price. The point of minimum AVC where SMC curve cuts AVC curve is called shutdown point. Opportunity cost of some activity is the gain foregone from the second best activity. In a perfectly competitive market, equilibrium occurs when market demand is equal to market supply. If the supply curve shifts towards right and demand curve shifts leftward, equilibrium price will be decreasing. Wage determined at the point where demand for labor and supply of labor curve intersect. In a market, households are the suppliers of labor. Due to a rightward shift in both demand and supply curves, equilibrium price remains unchanged. It is assumed that in a perfectly competitive market, an invisible hand is at play. Monopoly firms' decision to sell a large quantity is possible only at lower price. Competitive behavior and competitive market structure are in generally inversely related. Macroeconomics tries to address situation facing the economy as a whole. Part of revenue is paid out as rent for the services rendered by land. The domestic country may sell goods to the rest of the world. These are called exports. The production units will be called as firms. Macroeconomic policies are pursued by the state itself or statutory bodies like RBI, SEBI, etc. Stocks are defined at a particular point of time. Final goods will not pass through any more stages of production. Depreciation is an annual allowances for wear and tear of capital goods. Inventory is a stock variable. Pollution is an example for negative externalities. The net contribution made by firm is called its value added. Economic exchanges without the use of monetary referred as barter system. RBI is the only institution which can issue currencies in India. Government of India issues coin in India. The principal motive for holding money is to carry out transaction. M1 and M2 are known as narrow money. CY shows the dependence of consumption on income. Saving is that part of income that is not consumed. Average propensity to consume, consumption per unit of income. Investment is defined as addition to the stock of physical capital. The size of multiplier depends on value of marginal propensity to consume. It is a positive constant which represents autonomous investment in the economy. Non-paying users of public goods are free riders. Financial year runs from 1st April to 31st March in India. Taxes imposed on goods imported into and exported out of India are called custom duties. Government may spend an amount equal to revenue it collects. This is known as balanced budget. Revenue deficit is equal to revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. Blank is the record, that is, current account is the record of trade in goods, services, and transfer payment. Capital account records all international transactions of assets. The price of foreign currency in terms of domestic currency has increased. This is called devaluation of domestic currency. Managed floating exchange rate is a mixture of flexible and fixed exchange rate system. Bretton Woods Conference held in the year 1944. So next ನಾವು ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇರೋದು 1 mark questions, important questions discuss ಮಾಡೋಣ. So dear students, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ 1 mark questions ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡಿದಾದ್ರೆ first question, why does problem of choice arises? We all know the problem of choice arises due to satisfying unlimited wants with limited resources. So we have limited resources. With that, we will try to satisfy unlimited wants. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ problem of choice arise ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Next ನೋಡಿದಾದ್ರೆ give the meaning of microeconomics. So we know that micro means small, okay? Dealing a small part of the economy ಅಥವಾ individuals ಅಥವಾ small group of people ಹೀಗೆ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಓದೋದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. What is budget line? Budget line is a locus of all possible combination of two goods or bundles of two goods whose cost is exactly equal to consumers' income. So usually it slopes from left to right downwards. Next ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ expand MRS. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ expansion, marginal rate of substitution. So dear students, ಇವೆಲ್ಲನೂ ನಾವು important questions, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಪಕ್ಕ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. To which side does supply curve shift due to technological progress? Technological progress ಇಂದ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಕರ್ವ್ ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಸೀಲಿಂಗ್? ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಸೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ರೂಮ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮನೆ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಸೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇಂಪೋಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೈಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಸೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಸೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇಂಪೋಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ the limit on prices, but it is a lower limit. You can see here lower limit imposed on the prices, okay, especially for particular goods and services in order to protect a producer. Here it is to protect consumers, okay. So both are implemented by government. Price ceiling is a upper limit on the price, and price floor is a lower limit on the price. Okay, through which legislation government ensures that the wage rate of labor does not fall below a particular level. ಸೊ ಅದು ಬಂದು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ವೇಜ್ ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಅವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಎನ್ಶೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ದಟ್ ವೇಜ್ ರೇಟ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫಾಲ್ ಬಿಲೋ ದಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಅ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ಸ್. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸರ್, consumers, or maybe a government agent. Okay, the well-known work of Adam Smith antadre the textbook what he has given. Okay, that is an enquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nation. You can write even a famous name given to this textbook, the wealth of nations. Okay, what do you mean by wage rate? Wage rate andre eno? So it is a price paid for purchase of labor service na navenanta helthivi, wage rate anta helthivi. Expand CPI. CPI expansion consumer price index number. So next important question, give the meaning of GDP. GDP meaning kodbekagutte. So you can write it is a market value of all final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country measuring or measured in a year. ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟು ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಆಗಿರುವಂಥ ಸರಕು ಮತ್ತು ಸೇವೆಗಳ ಮೌಲ್ಯನ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಮೌಲ್ಯನ ಏನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು GDP ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್? ಡಿಪ್ರಿಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಅಲವೆನ್ಸ್ ಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ವೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. See, it is a deduction made from the value of gross investment in order to accommodate a regular wear and tear of a capital goods ಅಂತಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು 1 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಬಾರ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್? ಬಾರ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ವಿ ನೋ ವೆರಿ ವೆಲ್. ಸೊ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ ಆರ್ mediation of money, if we exchange goods with the goods, then it is called as barter system. Exchanging commodity with a commodity or economic exchanges without mediation of money kuda ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು barter system ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Give the meaning of money. So Professor Walker, if we consider, we can say that money is what money does ಅಂತನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಮನಿ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಮನ್ಲಿ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಿಯಟ್ ಮನಿ? ಫಿಯಟ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಫೇಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಇಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫಿಯಟ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಮನಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಫಿಯಟ್ ಮನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮನಿ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಹೂಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದ ಫೇಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಇಂಟ್ರೆನ್ಸಿಕ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಕಾಯಿನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. ಅದರದ್ದು ಬೆಲೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇದರದ್ದು ಫೇಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಫೇಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೀರೋ ಅದರದ್ದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದರದ್ದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಥದ್ದು ಕರೆನ್ಸಿನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಫಿಯಟ್ ಮನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಲು ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ CRR. CRRಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ರಿಸರ್ವ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಇಸ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾನ್ಷನ್. ರೈಟ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಆಫ್ MPC. ಸೊ MPC ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಪೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಟು ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. Who are free riders? Free riders ಯಾರು? ನಾನ್ ಪೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಗುಡ್. ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ದಿರೇ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಗುಡ್ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೋ ಅಂಥವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಫ್ರೀ ರೈಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್? ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲೈಮ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾನ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರೆವಿನ್ಯೂ ಅಂತಲೇ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಅಥವಾ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಈಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಡಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಅ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆರ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Next important 1 mark, expand FRBMA. So that is Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. What is primary deficit? Most commonly asked question. Primary deficit is a fiscal deficit minus interest payment. This we call it as primary deficit. What do you mean by open economy? Open economy which interacts with the rest of the world through various channels like export of goods, export and import of goods, export and import of services, or transaction in financial assets. ಹೀಗೆ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಗಳ ಜೊತೆ ಒಂದು ಸಂಬಂಧ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಏನು ನಾವು ಸಂಬಂಧನ ಹೊಂದಿರ್ತೀವೋ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಓಪನ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಅಂತ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಓಪನ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್? Balance of payment is a systematic record of all economic transaction of a country with the rest of the world ಅಂತನೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ is a record of transactions in goods, services, assets between the residents of a country with the rest of the world for a specified period of time. Usually year ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay. Yes, students, now let us discuss 2 marks questions. Very important 2 mark questions. So dear students, 2 mark questions prepare ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ you should be very much conscious. Okay. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಯೂಮರ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. 6 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಕೇಳೋಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 4. ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 4 ಇಂದ ಅವರು 1 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಈ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸು ಕೂಡ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದರೆ ಈಸಿ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 5. ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 5 ಇಂದ ಕೂಡ 2 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ 6 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ 6 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಂದನೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ 2 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಿಂದ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸು ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ 4th ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಡಿಟರ್ಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳೋದಾದರೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಡಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ರಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈಯರ್. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ನು 2 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಈಸಿ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು 5th ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಜೆಟ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಿಂದನೂ ಕೂಡ 1 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಓವರ್ 6 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಈಸಿ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಡೂ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಈವನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಟು. ಇನ್ನು 6th ಚಾಪ್ಟರಿಂದ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ನು 1 ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸು ಇದೆ, ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸು. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸು ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ನಿಮಗೆ 10 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. 10ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು 6 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈಚ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೀಸ್ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ 2 × 6 12 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Dear students, today we will be discussing important 4 mark questions. Okay, from Microeconomics, first chapter, that is Introduction to Microeconomics. Out of these 4 important questions, you can expect 1 4 mark question. Okay, so if we prepare all these 4, 100% you can expect 1 4 mark question. ಸೊ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಆದಷ್ಟು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಒಂದಂತೂ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ನು ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಿಂದ. ಸೊ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ 4th ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್, ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ 5 ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ you can expect 1 4 mark question. So 100% you can expect 1 4 mark question from this chapter. ಸೊ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ 4 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದಾದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು implication ಆಫ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಮ್ ಒಂದು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. Write a table to show the impact of simultaneous shift on equilibrium ಕೂಡ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಈಸಿ ಕೂಡ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿ ರೈಟ್ ಅ ನೋಟ್ ಆನ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಸೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ರೈಟ್ ಅ ನೋಟ್ ಆನ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಫ್ಲೋರ್. ಸೊ ಇವೆರಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಂಟರ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ರೀತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳೋಂಥ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಈಸಿ ಕೂಡ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆದರೆ ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. And from macroeconomics, if we see, first chapter, introduction to macro. So there are 3 important questions. Out of these 3, 1 4-mark question you can expect. So prepare all these 3 questions, dear students, properly. Macroeconomics second chapter, dear students, macroeconomics second chapter, that is national income accounting. From this chapter, you can expect 2 4-mark questions. Okay, 2 4-mark questions. Out of these 5 important questions, you need to answer 4 marks 2 questions. So if you prepare 5 out of 5, you are going to answer 2 questions. So give much more importance to this chapter and prepare very well. That is, write a note on final goods, circular flow of income, externalities, then illustrate unplanned accumulation and decumulation of inventories, and explain the example of planned accumulation and decumulation of inventories. Okay, dear students. So from this chapter, how many questions? 4 marks, 2 questions. So prepare very well. Macroeconomics third chapter, that is money and banking. Dear students, from this chapter you can expect 1 4-mark question. Okay, there are 4 questions, important 4 questions. That is, explain the functions of money, explain the functions of RBI, legal definition of money, then meaning of transaction motive and speculative motive of demand for money and liquidity trap. Then 4th chapter, determination of income and output. From this chapter, you can expect 1 4-mark question. So there are 3 important questions. That is, give the meaning of aggregate demand function. How can it be obtained graphically? Explain consumption function. Then explain consumption and investment function with the help of a graph. So from this chapter, you can expect 1 question. Then last chapter, open economy. From this chapter, 1 4-mark question you need to answer. There are 5 questions. Okay, one is write a note on balance of trade. Another one is the chart of current account or the chart of capital account. Okay, and one more important question is the effect of an increase in demand for imports in the foreign exchange market with the help of a diagram, and explain merit and demerits of flexible and fixed exchange rate. So out of 5, 1 4-mark question you can expect from this chapter. Especially these 3 questions are very, very important, but still you have to prepare these 2. Sometimes you cannot expect. I am doing this important 4 and 6-mark questions on the basis of blueprint. But you have to keep in your mind, dear students, this annual paper is not prepared by me. That means I am not going to prepare question paper. So somebody else is going to prepare a question paper. I cannot guess how they are going to prepare a question. But according to blueprint, whatever the questions, important questions, according to blueprint I have given here, but you have to cover 100% complete syllabus. You have to prepare properly 100% and follow the blueprint. According to blueprint, you give much more important these questions so that your the weightage of your marks will increase. That means you can get 100 and 100. Okay, so please do prepare the whole syllabus. Okay, and again you give much more importance for blueprint and you prepare these questions properly, thoroughly, so that you can get a full marks. All the best, dear students. Dear students, today we will be discussing 6 marks important questions. Okay, according to 2022 and 23 blueprint, 6 mark questions. There will be 7 questions. Out of 7 questions, you need to answer 4 questions. Okay? So let us discuss what are important questions or what are the chapters where they will rise 6 mark questions. So if we consider microeconomics, from second chapter, they are going to ask one 6 mark question. From this chapter, there are 5 important questions which you need to prepare. Out of these 5 questions, one question you are going to answer in the exam. That means out of 7 questions, one question will be from this chapter. From second chapter, you can expect one question. Okay, that one question may be LDMU or the features of indifference curve or optimal choice or movement along the demand curve and shift in demand curve or derivation of market demand curve with the help of a diagram. Dear students, from Microeconomics, 4th chapter, you can expect one 6 mark question. There are 3 important questions. Out of 3, you can expect one 6 mark question. From this chapter, that is a theory of forms under perfect computation, explain short-run supply curve of a firm with the help of diagram. Explain market supply curve with the help of a diagram. Explain total revenue and average revenue of a firm under perfect computation with the help of diagrams. So out of these 3 questions, one question you can expect for 6 marks. And from macroeconomics, one important 6 mark question they will ask from this chapter. Okay, there are 4 important questions in this chapter. So one is macroeconomic identities. Next, briefly explain expenditure method of measuring GDP. Next one is explain numerical example to show that all 3 methods of estimating GDP gives us same answer. And one more, write down some of limitations of using GDP as index of welfare of a country. So out of 4 questions, you can expect one 6 mark question. And from macroeconomics chapter 3, that is money and banking, from this chapter you can expect one 6 mark question. There are 4 important questions. First one is money, that is the explain the functions of money. How does money overcome the shortcomings of barter system? Then write a story of Goldsmith Lala and the process of deposit and loan credit creation by commercial banks, and explain open market operation. Then the last one is requisites of reserves acts as a limit to money creation. Explain. So out of these 4, one 6 mark question you can expect. So important 6 mark question 5th chapter ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್. ಈ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ, ಥಿಯರಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. So dear students, now we will be discussing with respect to practical oriented question. From consumer behavior, this is very important. 100% you can expect this question under practical oriented. And the answer will be here. You can refer and you can get a full marks on this. Okay, dear students. Dear students, find the missing product in the following. So you can find out. As we know, TP is equal to summation of MP. So you should make a zigzag addition. So if you do the zigzag addition, you will get the right answer. 40 plus 10 is 50. 50 plus 6, you will get a 56. Okay. So zigzag addition. For 40, you should add next MP. Okay. You'll get the particular total product. Similar way, MP, if you want to find out, TPN minus TPN minus 1. So here, if you want to find out MP, see here TP we have 0, so we wrote 0, right? Now, if you want to find out this MP, means take a value of TP and deduct from the previous value. So 10 minus 0 is 10 and a value. If you want to find out this, you have to take the respective total product and deduct from the previous value. So 24 minus 10, you will get a 14. So in this way you can calculate, and we know AP is equal to TP divided by factor, that is labor. Okay, so when you do that you will get a answer. So here TP is 50 and divided by 4 you will get a 12.5. Dear students, the last one is this, and even this one you can think as 100%. Okay, 100% expected practical oriented question. USA dollar, UK pound sterling, Germany European euro, Japan yen, China renminbi, and Argentina peso, UAE dirham, Bangladesh taka, USA ruble, India rupee. Okay, so they will ask you to name the currencies of any 5 countries, okay, from the following. But learn all these things. If 1 or 2 goes wrong also, you can get a full marks here. So please do prepare this one also. It is also important. Okay, prepare all 6 practical oriented properly so that you can get 10 on 10. Dear students, if you like, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.